What's up, Dildos? Bildo here with a bunch of new cards that have been announced for Kobalts and Catacombs. Let's jump right in. First up, we have the new Warlock weapon, the 5-cost 0/3 Skull of the Minari. At the start of your turn, summon a demon from your hand. Now, I think this might be enough to put that Cruel Warlock over the top. The one, if you only have one of each card in your deck, summon all the demons from your hand, and this might be enough to do just a full demon deck, especially if some of those negative buffs don't apply, like the whole deal 5 damage when summoned. If it doesn't pop that, then this is going to be a way better card. We'll see. Next up, a new Shaman card that has a very interesting mechanic, the 1-cost spell, Unstable Evolution. Transform a friendly minion into one that costs 1 more, repeatable this turn, which basically means it puts it back into your hand after you cast it, and you can cast it again, but it goes out of your hand at the end of the turn, which is real interesting. It doesn't evolve your whole board, but you can do it twice, which can be super powerful. We'll see how this one goes. Next up, a new spell for Warrior, Unidentified Shield. Gain 5 armor, gain a bonus effect in your hand. And as you can see, there are a lot of different things that you can do with the Unidentified Shield, and I am excited to try it out to see exactly how it works. If it just happens, or you get to choose one, or we'll see how it goes. Next up, we have a new neutral minion, the Forbolg Moss Binder. A 5-cost 1/1 battlecry, transform a friendly minion into a 6/6 elemental, and this just really goes to show that they are pushing that evolve shaman to the point of ridiculousness. Next up, a card that I'm really excited about, the new warrior legendary, Geosculptor Yip. 8-cost 4/8, at the end of your turn, summon a random minion with a cost equal to your armor. Can anyone say Plate Warrior? Next up, we have a new rogue secret, Evasion. After your hero takes damage, become immune this turn, which is a very situational ice block. When used correctly, I think this is going to be a really powerful tool, but to the novice user, they're just going to waste it, so we'll see how it goes. Next up, a new mage spell with some interesting mechanics, the 5-cost Deck of Wonders. Shuffle 5 scrolls into your deck. When drawn, cast a random spell. Scroll of Wonders. Cast a random spell, draw a card, cast this when drawn. So you don't actually have to pay for the second one? I'm not sure. We'll see how it goes. Next up, a new mage minion that I think is going to be really powerful, the 4-cost 4/5 Leyline Manipulator. If you're holding any cards that didn't start in your deck, reduce their cost by 2, which is ridiculous, and it's an elemental. So I think we're going to see a lot of this guy. Next up, we have some spellstones to get through, so let's rapid fire some of these. Lesser Pearl Spellstone. Summon some Silverhand recruits. Wow, that was a lot of S's. Next up, the Lesser Ruby Spellstone. Add a random mage spell to your hand. Play 2 elementals to upgrade. And as you can see, it gives you more and more spells, which makes the synergy for the new cards even better. Next up, we have the Warlock version, the 4-cost Lesser Amethyst Spellstone. Lifesteal, deal 3 damage to a minion, take damage from your cards to upgrade, and as Disguised Toast showed, there are some very interesting mechanics to take damage from your cards, quote, air quote, finger air quotes. Speak of the devil and he shall appear. One of the new cards that you can take damage from, Cobalt Librarian. Draw a card, deal 2 damage to your hero. Not so bad in the 1 slot. With 2/1, I think we're actually going to see a lot of this guy. Next up, another good choice for Warlock, the 2-cost 2/4 Demon, Vulgar Homunculus. Battlecry, deal 2 damage to your hero and taunt. I think we're going to see a lot of this guy in almost every deck. This is just a really good statted minion to deal 2 damage to yourself, which is nothing for a Warlock, so I think we're going to see a lot of this guy. Next up, a card I'm super excited to try out in the ladder. 7-cost Psychic Scream for the Priest. Shuffle all minions into your opponent's deck. This is crazy. So there's a lot of really messed up things you can do to somebody by shuffling your minions into their deck, and I cannot wait to see what people come up with. Next up, a new neutral minion, the 6-cost 4/10 Hungry Etten. Taunt, Battlecry, summon a random 2-cost minion from your opponent's deck. Now, this is a lot like the Hungry Dragon, and I think we're going to see this one, because this is a really good card. Next up, a new rogue card, the 4-cost 4/4, of course, Baldury Strider. Battlecry, shuffle 3 ambushers into your deck. When drawn, summon a 4/4 spider. Now, I think we're going to see a fair amount of this one. I don't know if the ambushers are drawn for your opponent, and maybe you get a spider as well. I'm not sure how it goes, but we'll figure it out. Next up, a new warlock spell, Cataclysm. Destroy all minions. Discard your hand. This is going to be huge, not only for the discard warlock, but for the control warlock because of tap. Like, you can just get a double top deck every turn and still win the game, and it'll make people rage quit. You'll see. I'm sure we'll see a lot of this one. Next up, some more of that recruit mechanic that we love so much. The 4-cost spell for Paladin, Call to Arms. Recruit 3 minions that cost 2 or less. Should be interesting. Next up, the new Paladin Legendary, which I think is going to be insane. But we'll see how it goes. The 7-cost 1/1, of course it's not going to be a 1/1. Lynessa Sunsorrow. Battlecry, cast each spell you cast on your minions this game on this one. So this is going to be insane. There are lots and lots of different combos you can do for this. Wow, like, you obviously want to play a control deck with this card and wait to the point where they can't polymorph or just kill your minion in one turn, and then make the most ridiculous minion you can imagine. Anyways, I digress. You can picture what this card's going to be. I'm excited about it. Next up, a new Shaman card that I'm pretty excited about. The 5-cost 5/5 Wind Shear Stormcaller. Battlecry, if you control all 4 basic totems, summon Al-Akir the Windlord, which makes it easier when you see this next card and a couple other cards that are coming out. The 2-cost 1/1 Cobalt Hemet. Battlecry, choose a basic totem and then summon it. And not only that, but the next one up is even better, I think. The 3-cost spell, Primal Talisman. Give your minions Death Rattle, summon a random basic totem, which means we're finally breaking the rule where we can have multiple of the same basic totems on the board at the same time, which is really exciting times. Next up, a demon that finally doesn't have negative effects, it just costs way too much. The 9-cost 3/9 Void Lord. Taunt, Death Rattle, summon 3 1/3 demons with Taunt. Now, I think this is an amazing card, and I've heard from a bunch of different people, oh, the stats suck, the 3/9 is bad, blah, 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 blah. Who cares? It's Taunt. It's obviously a control card, and it gives you more control cards. And when you use your Death Knight card, it's going to bring all these bastards back. So it's worth. I've lost games because someone brought back 2 taunt demons that were 1/3, and I couldn't make it through in time. So it's that little extra that makes you win, you know? Next up, a new mage secret that I think's pretty cool. Explosive Runes. After your opponent plays a minion, deal 6 damage to it and any excess to their hero. So that's awesome, because I hate wasting damage or wasting mana or something like that. So you play this and it hits a 1-cost minion, you're still dealing 5 damage to your opponent, possibly for lethal, because you. Next up, the new rogue legendary, Sonya Shadow Dancer, the 3-cost 2/2 After a friendly minion dies, add a 1/1 copy of it to your hand. It cost 1. Wow. It's going to be almost impossible to keep this on the board, but wow, is this going to be amazing. This might even bring Milrogue back, and that is just, oh, I'm so excited. Next up, a card that makes the Armor Mage a real possibility. The 1-cost 1/2 elemental, Arcane Artificer. Whenever you cast a spell, gain armor equal to its cost. I think this is a very powerful mechanic, and we're going to see a bunch of it. Next up, a new neutral with an interesting mechanic, the 8-cost 4/7 Grand Archivist. At the end of your turn, cast a spell from your deck, target chosen randomly. So it's a pretty good way to thin out your deck, I guess, but who really knows how it's going to go? I guess Yogg be praised and RNGesus is the best, so we'll see. Next up, another neutral elemental with the Mage synergy. 5-cost 4/4 Arcane Tyrant. Cost 0 if you've cast a spell that costs 5 or more this turn. I think we're going to see a lot of this guy. And last but certainly not least, the 4-cost 5/6 Dragon, Hoarding Dragon. Death Rattle. Give your opponents 2 coins. Now, this is going to suck. I mean, it's not a bad card. It's a great card, and that's the problem, is that it seems like a good mechanic to give your opponent 2 coins, but for a Milrogue, this is going to be bread and butter. So you just fill up their hand with garbage by making this one's Death Rattle trigger a bunch of times, and then you mill the crap out of them. Man, Milrogue's coming back in a big way, and no one is going to see it coming. This is going to be great. Anyways, if you're still watching at this point, 11 minutes and 24 seconds into the video, you're obviously a true fan. Make sure to do all the things, like, share, comment, subscribe. I will get back to you. Good luck, have fun, and I'll see you in the catacombs.